Am I the a-hole for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night for my kid's sleepover? This weekend I had a small birthday sleepover for my 8-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends. The night started completely normal. The girls had snacks, watched movies, and went to bed around 10:30. But around 1:30 a.m., one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. Single mom here, so there was no man in my room, don't worry. She said she was scared and wanted her mom. While I was trying to calm her down, she told me this was her first time sleeping somewhere new, which was unbeknownst to me and caught me off guard. Oh, poor baby. I did my best to try and comfort her. I sat with her, I got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up. She was probably scared or nervous, right? She's never slept without her parents around, knowing there's a certain comfort ingrained into you knowing they're in another room. I sat with her, I got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up, repeating that she wanted to go home. I gave it some time, but it wasn't getting any better. So at that point, I felt like it wouldn't be right for me to force her to stay somewhere where she was not clearly happy. I called her mom and asked if she could come pick her up right then and there. Her mom came, but she seemed annoyed. The next morning, she texted me saying she wished I just waited it out until the morning because now her daughter is embarrassed and might not want to try sleepovers again. That is not on her. She stayed up with your daughter, did her best, everything within her power, which you definitely should have warned her, like, hey, it's her first sleepover, and maybe you could have FaceTimed her or called her right before bedtime, something to get your daughter the tools she needed to succeed in this environment, because it was not on this mom. It's not on OP. They did their best. And if a little girl's crying, asking for their mom, you're not going to be like, hey, it's going to be okay. I can't give you your mom. Go downstairs. You're staying here. No version of that is going to make them feel good. Where I'm frustrated is that I feel like I was put in a bad position and destined to fail from the start no matter what. I wasn't made aware this was her first sleepover, and I don't think it's fair to use somebody else's house, especially during their child's birthday party, as a guinea pig without giving a heads up. I'm not mad at the girl at all. I feel really bad for her, but I don't think it was my job to handle that level of distress all night. But I'm wondering if I should have just stayed up with her a bit longer to see if she'd go back to sleep and try to push through until the morning like her mom said. Am I the a-hole? No, you did what was best for the kid. I know you're not really giving us the time frame, but I imagine it was anywhere between half an hour to an hour of trying to console and calm down this poor girl who just desperately felt uncomfortable and just, what are you gonna do? Tell her to go back downstairs crying? Wake up the rest of the kids, or just wait it out? No, that doesn't make any sense. She's not comfortable, and you're not gonna be like, okay, why don't you come into my bed and sleep with me? At no point is that acceptable or okay. So that's obviously not gonna be a thing. I know lots of kids, when they have nightmares, when they're feeling bad, they crawl into their parents' beds, and that's a comfort thing because a lot of kids either sleep in their parents' room until they're of age. I think that's a normal thing for babies and infants and stuff. You gotta be in the same room. Or maybe that was just our lack of having rooms available, to be honest. Who knows? It's an impossible thing to know about. It's an impossible thing to do everything for, because I don't believe if there is a kid crying and screaming, getting worse and not seeming to be consolable, I'm not just going to tell her, suck it up, your mom's not coming, you can do this. Of course I'm going to try and give encouraging thoughts, encouraging everything, but if it's not working, you got to call the mom, and you should never be blamed. So lame. I'm sorry, OP. I think you did a great job. Why don't we read some comments? One commenter says, not the a-hole, I'd be furious to discover my child had been begging to come home because they were scared and someone kept them against their will. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's on their parents to guide her through the situation and help her understand her feelings, why she felt what she did, and then make sure they put safety nets in place for next time she tries. As a dad, I'd be extremely grateful for you sitting with her and treating her with kindness and then calling to get her to come home. This is a mature, understanding person who sees the situation as it is. Any parent should want their kid to feel safe, comfortable, and loved. And that's, they did their best, but they just did not have the ability. They don't have that connection. Who knows if this is literally the first time that she's met the kid, Who knows, right? We don't have the clarity of that understanding, but the other mother knows that her daughter was scared. Almost every young kid is scared of a sleepover. It's a scary thing. Some kids don't stop wetting the beds until, different ages. And no matter what the situation is, you need to give your kid the tools to succeed. And if that tool is just simply being able to maybe say, hey, call me on FaceTime if you get scared. I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I would want to stay up and wait for that call if necessary. If 1, 2, 3 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to know that my kid's okay and I'm going to get a little bit of sleep before I have to pick them up. One commenter says, when our daughter did her first sleepover, my husband dropped her off, told the mom it was her first one, and she might start crying to come home. And if she does, he doesn't care what time it is to call us. Yeah, exactly. Of course, this is exactly what happened. He went to pick her up and she said that she thinks she wanted to stay. Strong kid. He asked if she was sure and she said yes. I think that was the fact that she knew her dad would come get her if she needed to, right? It's that feeling like, I need that protection. I need to know that I'll be okay no matter what. And then they can go. That's a wonderful thing this dad did. That's the right answer. The other parent was super cool about it too. Said that the daughter did the same thing on their first sleepover. This seems like a super normal thing. This shouldn't be something to complain about. This shouldn't be something to blame the other parent for, right? It's just ridiculous. But I'd love to know your opinions. Thank you.